Good day. I'm Dr. Canute White, and you're listening to Canute Exploration, your topic in a podcast. Yet another episode. You realize that those of you who are watching on YouTube will be able to see it, but those on your favorite podcast platform, Amazon and Apple Podcasts, will not be able to see that I'm wearing a Deliver Drive Jamaica shirt. Basically, this episode is brought to you by Deliver Drive Jamaica. If you are a SME and you want to contract Deliver Drive to deliver your document and packages across Jamaica, contact Deliver Drive at Deliver Drive JA LLC, Deliver Drive JA Limited at gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp 876-403-1924, and you'll be able to sign a contract with Deliver Drive. There's a Deliver Drive LLC here in Florida, which is a part of the group delivering packages and documents for corporate entities. Hey, I'm going to be talking to a very special guest out of Jamaica today. Um, this evening, this morning, this afternoon, I always say it depends on where you're watching from, because we want to welcome those persons watching, listening to us from Canada, UK, Australia, France, Germany, Ukraine, Spain, because we realize through data that there are persons from these regions that listen, especially to the podcast on their favorite podcast platform. I I'm going to be talking to a Jamaican who's very talented, very educated, and he had some challenges as a child, and he become blind because of a disability that he had developed. But this didn't stop him. This is just one of the other Jamaican son who decided, hey, nothing will stop me. I am going to strive and I'm going to contribute to society, contribute to the world, right? And he's doing extremely well. We're going to talk a lot about his situation and his music. He's into music as well. That's great. And we're going to give you yet another story, inspirational story, empowering story. That's what we do here on Canyouth Exploration, your topic in a podcast. I am Dr. Canute White. I'm just going to invite Joshua Burgess into the studio. Joshua, hail up.
Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Big up, Joshua. Yeah, welcome to Canyouth Exploration, your topic in a podcast. Hey, we have a lot to talk about, Joshua. But here, what happened? We are going to take it step by step. But first, I want to know, who is Joshua? Who is Joshua Burgess in a nutshell?
Well, before I say who's Joshua Bridge, I'd like to say hello and welcome to everyone of all your viewers and listeners from all over the world. I'm glad to be here. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Who is Joshua Bridge as
You're welcome.
well? I am a Jamaican born journey. I am a Caribbean man. I am proud to be from the West Indies. I I love sports. I love music. I am very motivated. I'm always driven. I'm here to empower, uplift, and most importantly, I am someone who just never gives up. And that's the most important thing really about me. I just never give up. There is no such thing as giving up or surrendering. And so
Yeah,
my life is built on just driving for more and on always looking to achieve more and more, no matter what it is, through music, through sports, through life, through learning. There's always a level that you can go up higher and higher. So that's who I really am.
cool, Joshua. I love that. I love that. And because you talk about that and you dabbled a bit into your childhood, I'm just going to ask you about your childhood. Growing up, what can you tell us about your childhood?
Well, my childhood is I would say I had lots of good memories. I mean, as a child, growing up in a great family, great mom,
Yeah,
great dad, an amazing environment that is, the foundation of it was just to create a great environment for someone to learn and to want to know more and to grow and to be happy within his environment, regardless of living circumstances in terms
yeah,
of my own conditions and health. And no matter what goes on this earth, I'm grateful for the family I live in.
yeah.
I grew up, some would say right as I came out of my mother's womb,
Yeah.
I've gone to play cricket in the Oval already, Uh,
Yeah.
I love cricket from I was born, and then as years went by, I started to love football as well. But no, cricket is it's just there's
Cricket
nothing
is a
like
thing.
cricket. Cricket
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
thing, yeah, yeah. Cricket was
Cool,
the thing,
cool,
and
cool.
yeah.
I
And I
talked to
would say
Mummy.
I would say the entire
Uh,
family have influenced me to play cricket. It's just that sport.
Cool. Love that. I talked to Mummy. Mummy is so intelligent. I talked to Mummy, and I know that you came out of a good background. Having talked to Mummy. Yeah, hats off to Mummy. But all right, as you say that, what is the inspirational message from your childhood that you'd like to share, for
There's
others forward?
there's always a way. There's never not a way. Never tell yourself it's impossible. There's always a way.
Yeah,
You know, there's any wall, any block that comes in your way. There's a way to get around it, above it, underneath it, to get to the other side.
yeah, I
And that's
love that.
really just it's plain and simple. There's always a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in psychology, Joshua, and there's this thing about frustration. Frustration is really when there's a barrier between you and your goals, and there are ways to get through that barrier, be it smash it or so. Some people might be use what we call misdirect attitude to really beat up on somebody else because they can't get to their goal. But as you say, there's always a way. There's always an appropriate. There's a way. Always a positive way. I love that, Joshua. I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
your talents, Joshua. Talk to us about your talents.
I believe I'm multi-talented, being a Caribbean man,
Yeah,
Caribbean people know how to do it all, we know how to have a good time.
I tell you.
We know how to do it,
I
man.
tell you.
We have the flavor and the touch.
Yeah. So you have been doing music and cricket.
And football, everything. It's just life,
Yeah. Yeah. For those listeners in the United States, well, many do know that we call our thing soccer back in the clan. Well, we call it football, but in order to differentiate it for them, we want to call it soccer. You understand? Because you have this thing called American
Well,
football.
I won't be calling it soccer.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Let's keep it football.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's keep it football. Okay, Joshua. Your health challenges. What are some of the health challenges that you have, Joshua?
Well, the main one being blind. From I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
born, I in technical terms, I've lost my sight. My right sight in the right eye. Up to 2 years, I did up to about 18 surgeries with the attempt of trying to get back my vision.
yeah.
And then I completely lost my sight in the left eye about
Mhm.
2015. Oh, sorry, not 2015. My apologies. When I was 15 years old, which mean that would have been about 2012.
Yeah,
Um, and in the year of 2012, I did something like 6 surgeries right through that year with the attempt
yeah.
again of trying to, reattain
Correct.
or get back
Yeah,
my sight. I also have chronic hearing loss in both
mhm,
ears, and
yeah,
but regardless of those things, and there are quite a
yeah,
few others, but regardless of those things, as I said
yeah,
earlier, there's always a way, and so I will let the general life things that happen in life, and even right now with COVID, as much as it's been very frustrating, being locked at home, I haven't been around anyone, much people very often, and by my very nature,
yeah.
I like to socialize, interact, meet people every day.
I saw that. Yeah,
It has been very frustrating, but again, the motto is there's always a way. There's never not a
yeah.
way.
Cool, cool. I realize you love to socialize. I saw that extroverted sort of thing in you. And you didn't. When I asked who is Joshua Burgess, you didn't mention that. But yes, Joshua is an extrovert in my mind. He like to
No,
socialize,
well,
right?
to be honest, I rather people find that out and just realize I am extrovert than me telling them.
Yeah,
Because I will
cool.
be honest, I do have times when I'm a bit quieter and stuff, but for
Yeah,
the most part, I'm out there talking about the place, like to meet people, bringing
yeah,
good vibes and energy, and it's just a good time. I always try to bring a good time to people, and bring the smiles to the people. Because the reality is, if no one's going to lead and no one's going to bring joy, I'll do it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know. I see it. I see it, Joshua. Definitely, right? And that's a good trait to have, and I appreciate that. Joshua, your success story. What's going on there? Because I know that despite the hats, you have a lot of success story that you'd like to share. Would like to hear what's going on in terms of your success.
Well, it's to say it's a story to me is more like a movie.
Okay.
It's been a long, long, long journey. And
Yeah.
the journey mostly entails just being strong, mentally strong,
Yeah.
uh, identifying myself. But the biggest one really is just staying strong and focusing a lot through my academics. I finished my CXC at Liberty. Well, I was at home school for a period of time, which is when I
Yeah.
lost
Yeah.
my sight. But that I
Hmm.
still followed the CXC syllabus through Liberty.
Yeah.
Um, then I went to the University of West Indies where I did journalism at Carrier. And then I went to London, University of
Hmm.
Birkbeck, to study sports marketing, and that's where I got my master's degree.
Cool.
And so for someone to get his master's degree is incredible. I didn't even think I would go this far. To tell you the truth, when I lost my
Yeah.
sight,
Hmm.
if I
Hmm.
felt so down, I weren't even sure what was next.
Yeah.
What was gonna happen, where my life was gonna go. I thought I lost my dream because all I
Yeah.
wanted to do really was just to play cricket and just be the biggest
Mm.
star out here. I'm not going to lie. I
Yeah.
always envisioned myself as that big thing for this country because I love where I'm from. I love this
Of
region.
course.
I've always wanted to represent this part of the world. So when I lost my sight, it was hard, because I
Mhm.
couldn't play cricket again, and then I went to play blind cricket, and it just never felt the same after that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
then I went to the gym in August 24th, 2015,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that changed me. I started going to the gym. Again, when I started the gym, I was 110 pounds,
Yeah.
and then just up to COVID, September 2020, when I
Hmm.
came back to Jamaica, I was 162, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, no, but the crazy part is I was up and down in that time, but just to find a healthy mental state and physical state
Okay.
in
Yeah.
itself was an achievement.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it was just tough. I just tried
Yeah.
the most important thing, and I always say this: there was always a way,
Mhm.
and I was never gonna give up. It was
Yeah.
not gonna happen. And my success story is really all about just staying strong and achieving the academics that I have,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
education that I have, and that's solely down to a great foundation of people around me, family, people who have worked with me through my,
Yeah.
tutoring and education, and the general friends that I have, the close friends I
Yeah.
have, and that's helped me a long, long way. And if it weren't for them, I don't know
Mhm.
where I would be. To be fair.
So you have that support, that support system with you that drives you.
Yes, yes, and I'm very fortunate. As I will keep saying it, without them, I don't
Hmm.
think much would
Hmm.
be possible right now.
Yeah. There's a thing here in the United States called American Disability Act. That is actually it's filled with a lot of um you know things that basically protect the those living with disabilities, right? In terms of accommodation and so on. I am not sure, even though I'm from Jamaica, I am not sure what type of act there is in Jamaica that does that. Maybe you could shed light on that. And in doing that, I also like you to talk about some of the challenges that those persons living with disabilities in Jamaica have.
Well, as I understand it, just this week there are talks that they will. Well, all right. So what I understand is in 2014, it was passed in the lower house to implement the Disability Act that will help to protect the disabled community. And the word this week that I heard is that it should be implemented or in effect by February 14 next year. That'll be 2022.
Okay.
Me being blind and disabled, and amongst the disabled communities living in Jamaica, I think that we are and I say we because I
Hmm.
am one of them. And
Yeah.
though I'm in a fortunate environment, not many people, you know, have similar opportunities, which is why I'm so
Yeah.
humble and grateful. But even then, we feel marginalized. We don't feel sometimes not appreciated because I know a
Yeah.
lot of blind and disabled people who, you know, they want to get work, they want to
Yeah.
progress in their life, but there's no opportunity to because no one would, take them on, no one
Hmm.
would give them health protection or just working opportunities. And that's the biggest one, working
Yeah.
opportunities and
Hmm.
financial opportunities, because most of these people, you know, don't necessarily have the financial support or
No.
the academic that goes with wanting to
Yeah.
get a job. And so the opportunities for them are very limited. They're almost starting at the bottom to stay at the bottom, which is very unfair. And
Yeah.
if this country speaks a lot about prosperity and moving forward and inclusivity, that has to
Yeah.
change very, very soon because
Hmm.
you can't want to embrace everyone, but then don't include the disabled community. And
Yeah.
in America, they have this thing where
Mm.
the Disabled Act really opens the door for disabled people, meaning that
Yeah.
the hiring company or business, they get paid
Yeah.
for hiring people with disabilities or who are blind. And so it's an incentive for those companies to hire people with disabilities. Not only that, it's an incentive for them to create infrastructure like ramps and things that will enable the lives of disabled people. And
Hmm.
that's what needs to happen here in Jamaica, where the corporate communities and the private sector needs to open their mind and open up their doors for those with disabilities, because it's only
Yeah.
going to benefit the country. It might even bring down the unemployment rate. It might, mean that more people get a bit of
Yeah.
work, make some money, pay rent, pay bills, maybe even
Yeah.
pay tax. And everyone wins once you open doors for other people. But you have to do it in a structured, progressive way that will
Yeah.
enable this sector, this
Hmm.
disabled sector to progress. And that for that to happen, they need to be included and integrated in
Yeah.
society respectfully.
Yeah. Joshua, I was thinking that the you talk about the private sector. Yes, the private sector have a role to play, but and indeed, because like you with such talent, with capability, despite the disability, right? You are able to contribute to the development of society and to the private sector, public sector for that matter. So the private sector should have a part to play in ensuring that persons living with disability, like yours and others, be included in the whole job market and so on. But my question to you: do you think that the government is doing enough? Right? Yes, we talk about the act. I note that Senator Floyd, I forgot his last name, the senator, if he's still a
Lord
senator,
Morris.
Floyd Morris. Yeah, he is an advocate for persons living with disability, blindness for that matter. And yeah, I appreciate him. I'd like to say good afternoon, morning, whatever time he's listening this to him. But do you think that the government is doing enough, really?
Neither government over the years have done enough, but I do think, and I can tell, and I
Mm.
hope, and I believe that their intention by this government, not that I'm saying that they are doing enough, but I hope and I will
Yeah.
encourage them to
Mhm.
do more because if it's that they have the appetite to promote the idea of prosperity and developing Jamaica, then they have to include all walks of life, and that includes the
Yeah.
disabled community. So as we speak, I don't think they have done enough, but I have hope and I have belief that they will do,
Yeah.
and they will start to open doors because that's what needs to happen really. It starts from the top. Leadership starts from the top.
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know and so
Yeah.
they're in this position for this reason, to open doors for not just disabled community but the general
Mm.
public, to create opportunities and to make things happen, because you know you can't have a functioning society if you're gonna neglect one part of society.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna work.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So I will reiterate, as we speak, I don't think they've done enough, but I do believe and I hope that they will do more. And I
Yeah,
hope that they do. So
yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, yeah, and I support that. At least you have some hope in that, and that's really important. So one of the solution is that more legislation. Do you think yes, this act we talked about it, but is it that there need to be more legislative approach to protecting persons with disability? Let's move away from blindness and just include everyone with disability. Do you think that more legislative?
Which is why I said the disabled communities. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Do you think
yeah,
that
I
more
agree.
more
Not
legislative?
only just
Yeah. Mm,
legislative, but well, yes, but legislative policies that include A, encouraging local business to hire people of disabilities, B, encourages
mhm,
the construction sector and those businesses who have the appetite to build new houses, townhouses, working corporate business and stuff to create infrastructure that is disabled friendly. And not only just those buildings, but just general roads and there's infrastructure development that is disabled friendly. Simple things like that, as well as technology needs to improve and we need to include more technologies in the schools and in the
mhm. You're breaking a bit, dear Joshua.
in the organization that is built just for the disabled communities. As in
Hmm.
that to provide opportunities. As I say, you have to include everyone.
Yeah,
It's very important and it's crucial.
yeah,
So I think those things are very important.
yeah,
And it will do good for the country
yeah,
generally.
yeah,
It just means
yeah,
more people are hired, more people are working, so more money is made, which means supposedly more people will pay taxes, and so it will do well for everyone
yeah.
eventually.
Joshua, I often say that our adversities are not for us, they are for many other people, right? And the things that you're going through, the things that
Yeah.
I have gone through, and many other Jamaicans, many other people around the world have gone through and are going through, it's really to prepare them to help others that will go through it. And I am saying this to say, to ask you if you are a part of an organization that advocate for people with living with disability, or is it that you're intending to go into the government, to go to find yourself somewhere so that you can be an advocate, because you really have a passion for ensuring the protection of persons living with disability.
Well, to answer that question, I would say yes and no. Meaning, I would advocate for them. Would I go into politics? Maybe not just now, but
Hmm.
it could be something I do in the long in the far future. Not I wouldn't say in the next 10,
Hmm.
15 years, but in the meantime, I will definitely make noise about it. I will definitely, you know, inquire, well, not necessarily inquire, but just ask questions and really just push the idea that we need to open doors and be more inclusive as
Hmm.
to going into politics and into government. It's not that I'm fully ruling it out, but right now, no, not at this time.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I love to see you in there, though. It's the of governance, and it's a good
So
thing.
don't rule it out, don't rule it out. You never know. But at this
Okay.
minute, at this very second, it's not my thoughts at this point in
All
time.
right. No problem, Joshua. I am Dr. Canute White and Canute Exploration, your topic in the podcast. I'm sitting in with Joshua Burgess out there in Jamaica. He had a challenge. He's living with a blindness, so to speak. I'd like to ask him something about the definition of blindness, but he's living with a challenge, and he continued to succeed. It doesn't matter, and that's the sort of Jamaican. That's the sort of person who we need, that can encourage others, can empower others to move on and do things during amidst adversity. Joshua, what is blindness?
That's a very good question. Um, I would say blindness is. I'll put my own twist to it, right?
Yeah.
It is well, the fact blindness is really more of a case where someone is unable to see
Hmm.
visually.
Yeah.
But being blind does not mean you cannot see. It just means you have a vision. The
Yeah.
vision is in your mind. You
Okay.
no longer see out of your eye, you see out of your mind.
I love that. Yeah.
And so that is my context
No, that's
of what
cool.
blindness is.
Yeah,
Because
I really wanted your concept, your perspective, and that's cool.
yeah,
Um,
so that's the way I would word it. Because again, it's I never really say I can't see and
yeah,
I don't know what I'm looking at,
yeah,
which is true. But I visualize things, I picture things, and so I look beyond what's in front of me. I go into this creative mindset. So blindness is really for me the ability to not necessarily see, but to visualize things in your mind. That's just what it is
right.
to me.
Can you see any at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, okay.
Zero.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right. One of the questions I'd like to ask you, though, as you say that you love cricket and football, you play. How do a person living with disability, right, manage to do this?
Well, in Jamaica, they have the national blind cricket team.
Okay.
I
Cool.
played with them before. It's a sport made for the blind, played by the blind.
Mhm.
And so it's how it is played is there's a cricket ball that has some beans in there
Oh,
that make some sounds. So when you shake it, you hear some sounds. I actually have the ball here, but I don't have it on me right now.
that's all right. Mhm.
Um, and but instead of saying cricket, they normally bowl overarm. In blind cricket, they bowl underarm, and the ball is rolled along the pitch, and the batsman
Oh,
have to hear and sweep the ball wherever he wants to hit it. And
cool.
that's how blind cricket is being played. In other countries and other parts of the world, they have blind football, which is again football
Mhm.
with a bit of a couple of beans in there, so it makes some sound. So when you pass,
Okay.
you can hear the ball. Um, and then obviously you had the Pan Olympic, which is built for the disabled community for them to
Yeah.
participate and to be physically in touch with themselves and in
Mm.
shape and able to play sports just as they like it.
Yeah, that's good though. I really love that. I love it. I love it. And it speaks to this inclusion thing. So persons living with
Wait,
disability.
can you repeat that, please?
I'm saying that it speaks to this inclusion concept. Persons
Yes. Yeah.
living with
Yeah.
disability are not totally excluded because these accommodation, I'd love to see a game of blind cricket, and so on, because I really do believe that persons living with disability are able, right, and for me to see that, it would speak more to me that, hey, these persons are really able and need to be included. So it's not 100% exclusion.
No, it's not. But you see, this is the important thing. Clearly, it's not common public knowledge that it is
Yeah,
seen inclusive and generally in general state.
yeah,
People don't necessarily, not that they don't like disabled people, they don't value them enough.
yeah, yeah,
And I say that to say because of the opportunities that they have. I've spoken to a lot of them, and a lot of them, some of them can't get jobs, some of them can't get any work,
yeah,
and so they're stuck at home. They don't know what next to do. And so this is what I mean when I say any government, any part of the world, anywhere,
yeah,
it is important that you include them as part of a society.
yeah,
There was a time when women weren't seen or respected or appreciated enough, and now you're seeing over the last 10, 15 years women in high positions in different aspects of the sector, different aspects of the world in terms of politics and anywhere, do anything in business, anything. I think now is the time where the disabled communities are embraced even more, same way as
yeah.
how we're seeing the rise of women leaders and in the general landscape,
Hmm, hmm.
more and more diversity
Yeah,
across the world, different. leaderships from different people, different positions occupied by different qualities and types of people. It's
Hmm.
about being inclusive. We're now in that era. We're in the new era where inclusivity is the way. Diversity is very important. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
hmm,
have to include. So that's why I
yeah,
love the fact that there's a Paralympics,
yeah,
there's opportunities for disabled people in sports, and hopefully
hmm,
there's opportunity for disabled people for education, finance,
yeah,
working opportunities, because it's only going to do them good. It's only going to do them good and it's going to do the society good. And I just hope that the society itself embrace itself even more and
yeah.
just look after the disabled people, because we're just one part of the world, and
So,
we're a part of you. We just
mhm.
want, yeah.
So I'm thinking diversity training. You talk a lot about diversity. Um, I'm an organizational behaviorist. It's part of my doctorate, and what, as an organizational behaviorist, we look at leadership and diversity and the diversity training a lot. Do you think? Well, I'm not sure if it's happening, but I'm just asking it like this. Do you think that the the authorities, be it the private sector or government, doing a lot of diversity training in their leadership core, um, so that they understand not necessarily the cultural diversity, but diversity as it relates to persons living with disability? Any training going on there, you think? Is it necessary?
Well, I would hope so, but no, I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say anything, and I'm not,
Hmm.
certain, or I'm giving inaccurate details or information. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to say yes, there is. But at this point, 2021, I would expect so. I would expect that there is something happening, and I would hope that there is. And if it's not going on now, I would expect in the very near future something is happening. So as of right now, I'm not sure. I can't really say,
Yeah. Hmm.
but I would hope so at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, because employees need to. Well, you're working now, and I suspect that persons who are able should understand the challenges that you might face, even though the organization would provide some accommodation for you. Persons around you, co-workers, need to understand the challenges that you might have and the importance to the importance of helping you, and not necessarily you, but all persons living with disabilities who work in organizations. Persons who are able need to understand the challenges that they are having. So that's my thing with that. But artificial intelligence,
Yes,
Joshua.
the big
I,
topic, AI.
I know you love to talk about that, so I save that for the middle of the conversation. Yeah, the importance of that.
Yes.
What's the
Well,
value and importance of
well,
artificial intelligence?
what is very important is what's enabling disabled communities to be able to integrate themselves into society, to be able to mobilize, and to be able to have access to things in life, to do
Mhm.
things for themselves independently, what by means of research, data collection, transportation, um, and other ways. So we're in that new era where technology is very important. However, I will say this, that as much as they're doing their best, these tech companies and the governments across the world are doing their best to include AI, there's still more work to be done.
Yeah,
Nothing is perfect, but we have to keep developing and improving. There needs to be more inclusivity, there needs to be more accessibility, and accessibility by means of geographic location as well as
okay.
economically. Because sometimes these people don't have the finances to afford these AI technologies or apps or websites or things of that nature. And so it needs to be geographically accessible and economically accessible in that sense. So there
Yeah.
is always work to be done. So that's what I would say.
Hmm.
For the importance of it, it is very important for the disabled communities because it enables us to be independent and have the ability to have or obtain similar opportunities as our able colleagues. And I think that is crucial
Yeah.
and important. And that's the big role of AI.
Yeah, because I read somewhere where you talk about biasness. being biased and the whole ethical concerns with artificial intelligence. I'd like you to talk about that sort of bias concept and of artificial intelligence.
Well, to tell the truth, there's the people who build these technologies. Sometimes, in a way, maybe they are not realizing who they're building it for.
Yeah.
So, for example, sometimes I've seen cases where someone used a voice speech app, and so when he gives a command, it probably sometimes doesn't pick up his accent or voice. It can be very frustrating. Uh, there are other ways, but the biggest one is the privacy. Data is out there, very accessible
Okay.
for these tech companies, and it's not protected enough, and
Yeah.
it's just not doing anyone any good, especially the disabled community, because someone might feel that their data is not protected and
Hmm.
they don't have the the proper protection that enables them to feel comfortable using these resources, and some of them don't feel safe. In terms
Yeah.
of the technologies, as I said earlier, some resources are not
Hmm.
functioning the way that we would like it to, because as we know, sometimes technology fails us because we could be using our phone
Yeah.
and the phone shuts off on us, or we could be
Yeah.
trying to take a picture of the phone and
Definitely. And we see
phone
that's happening now,
wouldn't read
Joshua.
what's in front of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It
I
you.
have an app called Seeing AI.
Uh-huh.
I have an app called Seeing AI, and essentially what that does is it allows me to do a varieties of things. Take pictures, and it would tell me what's in that picture. It could scan my barcode and tell me what product I have. It could tell me what colors around me, and it could also
Cool.
tell me it can scan a paper and tell me what's on that paper, regardless of the handwriting. And so I would say that is the improvement. But even with that, there are some things that it won't pick up, like Jamaican dollars,
Oh
like
yeah.
Caribbean dollars. It only picks up US and British pound, and that's a bias right there. It exposes the fact that they're only developing technology for the first world, not necessarily for the third world.
Yeah. 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 And I'm happy you said that because it also speaks to some studies, empirical studies. Based on the norm where it was normed, the culture, you find that especially psychometric studies, psychometric tests, sorry, right? Based on where it was normed, it speaks to that culture, so it creates a problem. So yeah, I understand what you're saying, Joshua, and it's something that developers need to understand. App developers, especially apps for persons living with disabilities. So I'm happy that you touched that, and I'm hoping that you will reach out, send an email to them, say, hey, I'm a member of the disabled community, and I think this need to be looked at, because it need to be improved for you and others to come. Yeah, so I love that. What's the name of the app?
Seeing AI,
Scene. S E
seeing,
E.
seeing, like I said,
Can you spell that so that I understand it better, please?
seeing AI.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fine. It's something that need to look at. I love that you mentioned that. You're breaking, Joshua.
Yeah.
You were breaking.
What's you're breaking up?
Oh, you're hearing me clearly
I'm right
now?
here. I can hear you now.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I
You're
am.
saying it's scene. SEEN or
I
SEEING or
yeah, yeah. No, seeing, like I'm seeing you. AI.
Okay,
We're
okay, like
seeking
that. Okay,
AI.
I'm seeing you. All right, fine. Okay. All right, fine, cool. I love that. Joshua, this thing about multi stakeholders approach for increased inclusiveness. I read something about that. Your passion for that. You believe, I suspect, that there should be this multi stakeholder approach for increased inclusiveness. So therefore, it should include the private sector, the government, um, other associations. Be it, I would want you to tell me the other association, the other stakeholders that you think should be included. And what are you envisioning as it relates to this multi stakeholder approach?
Well, I think everyone across the Caribbean and the different various sectors politically and within the private sector, commercial, corporate sectors,
Okay.
I think everyone, all the big players who are backed heavily financially, and those who don't have all, those who have the academic resources, and as well as the disabled community, everyone needs to come together to share ideas, to put together policies, to come up with solutions, and every possible way where we can help to improve the lives of disabled communities in every possible way, whether through living, through culturally, so socially, through economically, academically, in every possible way. There's all, as I said earlier, there's always a
Hmm.
way. There's never not a way. And so one of the key things is all of these various sectors, the member, the Jamaica Society for the Blind, the Jamaica Council for the Disabled Community, the government, and varying other sectors, and this applies to all Caribbean countries, but they all need to come together to share ideas and to create a way how we can integrate and develop a framework for AI in the Caribbean, because
Yeah.
we are a third world. We have to accept that, but that does
Hmm.
not mean that we should try and find a way to include the disabled communities and find technologies and find solutions and ways in which we can
Yeah.
better the lives of the disabled communities. And that's just the key and most important thing. That's the main mantra and the main, the main message that
Yeah.
I was trying to put out there through the presentation. And right now is everyone needs to come together, put together ideas. The disabled community needs to explain themselves, what are their struggles,
Hmm.
the people who are trying to help to share ideas, what and how they're willing to help. And I
Right.
think by sharing and communicating, there will be a middle ground and there will be ways in which, in the coming years, we could have a blind prime minister. In the
Yeah.
coming years, the following years, we could have uh, someone who is in a wheelchair who is the head medical doctor,
Right.
or people can progress in their life
Hmm. Hmm.
regardless of their living circumstances.
Yeah.
And I think there is a way for it to happen, and it will happen in a matter of time.
Yeah.
And so that's really the
Yeah.
main message that I have to
Yeah.
all my
You're breaking a bit.
4 points that I made in the Caribbean. There needs to be a multi-stakeholder approach to develop a framework for AI in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
We need to address the bias and ethics concerns in the data collection, privacy.
Hmm.
And so, everyone plays a role. No one is exempt from this situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I used to be the dean at Clancarty High School down in Kingston, and there was this Spanish teacher living with a blindness, Mr. B. He had done well. Many of his students had, received um, once in the CSEC examination, and hats off to him. He was featured in the newspaper, a lot. Um, so I just saying that to say yes, there are a lot that persons living with disabilities, with blindness, can do and are doing, and need to be appreciated and honored because they still didn't. Many of them do not put themselves down, in a pity party. But like you are out there participating, contributing to society because hey, you are able. It doesn't matter what happened, you know. Um, but Joshua,
Yeah.
Your blindness is that is the result of something else. Tell me about that.
I will say creativity, the ability to visualize things and come up with ideas. I love my music. I've recently begun to start producing music and putting together some music.
Mhm.
And so being blind has only allowed me to just become more visually and creatively inclined. It's allowed me to picture things and allowed me to go into my creative zone. And so
Mhm.
I don't think if I wasn't blind, I would be in this very high creative zone and mode over the last couple of
Right.
years.
Joshua,
Because of
sorry.
that, yeah.
I'm going to be talking about your music because that is important and I want to go there. But I was just thinking that the blindness it's a result of I think it's this disorder that you had earlier you were diagnosed with.
Come again. I didn't
You
hear
you
you
were
with that one.
diagnosed with a disorder earlier.
Oh, you mean microcephaly?
You were diagnosed with something and it caused the blindness, the challenge with your sight.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I had. Well, so I was actually. So I was told
Okay.
I had cataracts initially, and at the time they didn't have the science to remove the cataracts. And cataracts is basic. I don't remember the exact science behind it, but it's essentially where there's cloud on the lens of the that is in the eye, and they couldn't remove it or they didn't have the science to help me recover from that. So at that time, it really wasn't possible. However, over the years, that has developed, and then from cataracts to high glaucoma, which then caused me to lose my sight. So that's really the scientific sequence of what happened, really.
Okay, okay, okay. I thought the media had said that you have a challenge before. I think it was a brain disorder, something that leads to the blindness.
Well, I believe that's you're talking about microcephaly.
Oh, that's what. Oh, yeah, that's what I
Is
think.
that?
Yeah, that they had said. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I must admit, I will tell you this. I actually didn't know about me having microcephaly till very late. So, I actually didn't even. Yeah, that was that came to my knowledge pretty late. I actually didn't know till
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
quite a while back. To be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. But Joshua, I'm so proud of you, man. You're doing an excellent job for yourself and for the society. I talking to you. Not that I don't believe that persons living with disability are not able, but when I talk to persons like you, I am proud. I'm impressed. I especially you who have gone through the educational system and completed a master's degree. I'm big on education, Joshua. I am really big on education. So when I see this, hats off to you. I'm very, very, very proud of you. And I know that you are going to be a mover and shaker in society. I'm going to be hearing a whole lot about you. But what I need to talk to you now about is your music. You're a producer. You play music. Talk to me about the music.
Well, growing up, I played the drum. I always played them. I always had a love for the drums. I love music. I love going on. I'm very social, so I love to go out and have a good time. Social, I'm an extrovert, as you said. Um, so I've always loved music. It was only a matter of time that I would go and start producing music. And really, I just want to make a mark in the Caribbean culture and take it to the world, really, and bring this Caribbean music to the world and share this culture with the world.
Yeah.
Um, I'm proud to be a Western and I'll always
Come on.
represent the Caribbean in the biggest way possible. If it weren't through cricket, it was going to be through music.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Where did Trinidad come from? Where did Trinidadian thing come from?
Well, my mother is Trini,
Oh, your
so
mommy is
my
Trini.
entire family on that side is Trini. Yeah, so
Cool, cool, cool.
yeah, that gave me the extra edge, that diverse flavor and
Yeah, yeah.
cultural dimension. So My favorite genre was soca music. My
Okay.
biggest music, I love music, and so it was always like the lights of shop. I don't want to call too much names, but
Yeah, that's all right.
soca music, dancehall, reggaeton, bit of R&B and rap.
Cool.
But just those three, really.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, from Trinidad, man. I mean, I try to speak like the Trinidadian. I love all the You're from Trinidad, man. I'm not sure if I'm doing it well. I know Mummy is laughing somewhere. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Oh God, don't let Chinese come for you now. Don't let the Chinese come and call you and say, "Doc, don't say that now.
Don't say that,
Fix
man.
up now."
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey,
That's
Joshua,
not how
talk.
sounding, boy. You're way off the mark.
You're losing me now, Joshua. You're losing me now.
Even I would admit, even I would say I'm not perfect.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? But guess what happened? You have the two aspect to deal with, yeah, and that's cool. Unlike me, who's only speak Jamaican dialect, right? And even though I'm living here in the United States, you know, I I I have a strong Jamaican accent, and I'm living in Florida, so you understand the challenge sometimes. And persons will say, "Hey, I love your accent. I really love your accent. Speak the Jamaican accent. I love it." But even I mean, speaking English, but the accent is there. Cannot lose it. Yeah, cannot
No,
lose it.
well, I tell you, I was in when I went to London to do my masters.
Yeah,
I walked around in my clocks. I had these nice brown clocks. I used to walk around the streets. Okay,
yeah,
I tell you something. The, I walked around one day, and this a bunch of girls and guys were like I had to walk past them. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
Yardi, like from JA, bro.
yeah,
So they're like, yo, I want to follow that JA, want to learn the culture down there. I
yeah.
want to, yeah, man, be fast like, yo, the funniest one was, I want to eat, yeah, man, fast like both. I found that so funny. It was so funny. It was so funny.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we do find it funny, and they laugh at it, and
you can't go anywhere and not hear people saying they want to sound like Jamaican, they want to pretend like they're Jamaican.
yeah,
Yo, I've heard
yeah,
this. I've heard a story where someone said to me in America, a lot of Americans want to pretend like they know a Jamaican friend or cousin, so they say, yeah, man, I'm from Jamaica. I have a friend here or auntie in Jamaica. I go to Jamaica. Jamaica is actually a country that have a rich heritage and culture, and it has impacted the world in every possible way
yeah,
you
yeah.
can. So you gotta be
I
proud
want
to
to
be Jamaican, man.
Yeah, and I want to say this, you know, as you say that, you need to be proud to be Jamaican because living here in the United States, I realize it. I realize that many persons here, many Americans, many persons from other nationality, other ethnic group, want to be like Jamaica, want to go Jamaicans, want to go to Jamaica, right? They want to get involved with Jamaica, and Jamaicans need to know that we are heavy, we are a big space in the American society and other places around the world. So I'm proud. I know you are proud too, even though you have a touch of Trini. I love the Trinidadians as well, and so yeah,
Now
right,
the music, the people, the culture. Yeah,
yeah,
man. Don't forget the ladies over
yeah.
there, Jeez.
So yeah, I mean the
But
Trinidadians, yeah. I mean, hey, I love it. But look,
it's
music.
just a joke, man. It's just a joke.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I
Yeah.
mean, look, let me tell you this, Joshua, and I'm saying it out loud. The Caribbean women are beautiful women. The Caribbean women are strong
Whew.
women. I mean, they're
Let them
really
shine underneath the
something.
sun and sun and sea. Put them in. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're very right.
Yeah, we love the Caribbean women, man. All right, Joshua,
Yeah.
Joshua, Joshua,
Yeah.
this thing about your being a producer though, it's interesting because if there is someone who wants you to work with you, I want you to work with them, he or she, and it relates to the development of the music. How should they contact you?
Well, they can go on my Instagram page at josh.aburgess and they will see my email address there. Um, really the easiest way to contact me is go through my social media, josh.a.burgess or josh_Burgie, which is Burgie, on Instagram, on Twitter, sorry, on Twitter.
Yeah, cause you have a Twitter account.
And you just have to send me a DM address. Yeah, I have a Twitter and I have a Instagram. To be honest, I'm only just recently starting to get a hold of my social media. I'm gonna start developing even more. I have a worldwide following in the next couple months and years. So you will
Cool.
see me all over the
Yeah,
place
yeah.
in the mainstream market and stuff. I remember sharing you with a I remember creating some beats and I was just like, yo, this is gonna
Yeah.
go far, man.
I got
And
the beat.
I even sent you
I got it. I got it, Joshua. I got the
yeah,
beat. I love it. And I'm going
yeah.
to find ways to use it and give you feedback. I have it, man. I love it. And what I had done as well, your social media angles, I actually included in the description of the episode. So those persons listening and on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Audible can look at the description and they will find a link to your Instagram and Twitter account and they can click on it and follow you. Those persons watching on YouTube or elsewhere, it's streamed on my Canute Exploration Facebook page as well, can click and find you there and follow you. So yeah, I have facilitated that so I could have a quick
Yeah,
link to following you.
absolutely. And I hope my aim is to not just make music, but to put on some of the greatest shows that the Caribbean have seen. I want to put on some big shows in the coming years, fill out
Cool.
national stadium, fill out these big crowds, just
Yeah,
promote the culture, promote the music, and invite the world to Jamaica. Really, it would do good for the country, tourism wise, economically, culturally. I'm just a man of just culture. I love my music, love my sports, and I mean, sad that the reggae boy is not giving me any love or hope right now. It's very sad, but you know, if it's not the reggae boys, it's West Indies, and if it's not any of them, it's the music. Trust me.
yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that. Hey, but Joshua, I recall that the United States actually beat the Reggae Boys in soccer recently, and I
Oh no, man, you had to bring that
no,
up,
I
man.
mean I have to because guess why I brought it up now because I am here in the United States. I what you call now American Jamaican or Jamaican American, and I'd rather to see a draw. I I'd rather draw because
No, you're what you call a Jamaican.
I'm a
You're a
Jamaican,
Jamaican.
so I rather I draw instead of Jamaica losing. But
Uh,
that's how it is.
no, well, all I will say is that the Reggae Boys is to step that game up some more. Yes, America
Oh yeah,
is obviously a far better team, but I think Jamaica is very talented, and I think we should be winning. We should be putting in better performances, but unfortunately, that hasn't happened. So, it's a pity, but
yeah,
we have to move on. We have to continue to
yeah,
progress. And as I said, from the start to now, there is always a way.
yeah,
There is never not a
yeah.
way.
And I love that.
Some
And
point that reggae boys team going to the World Cup.
yeah, we, do you remember them going to World Cup? Were you born that time?
No. I definitely,
Okay, right.
I was
Okay.
rocket moving around the street. I think I was only about a year and a half.
Oh,
I think I was about a year and a half when they went to France. So I would have absolutely no knowledge.
cool. A lot of people didn't know, but Jamaica actually Reggae Boys actually went to the World Cup. I forgot which year it was, but you can research that, listeners, viewers, and Jamaica actually went to World Cup
1998.
1998.
Yep,
Oh,
98
all
in
right,
France.
1998, right? So Jamaica, we went to World Cup, right? So we represent the Caribbean. Didn't win the cup, but yeah, we will one day, right? Hopefully, yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. Hey, Joshua, it's so nice talking to you, and hearing your opinion on a number of things as it relates to the disabled community and other aspects of your life in terms of your talent and so on. I had said it before. I'm really proud of you as a Jamaican, as a Trinidadian, so to speak, and and as a male, because I
As a West
really,
Indian.
as a West Indian, we can't leave that out, right? But males are, and because you're in Jamaica, I'm from Jamaica. I started my studies in Jamaica, and not many males really decided that they will go back to school, you know, higher education and do well, right? So we are examples, and we want to say to the other males down there in Jamaica and around the world, hey, you can do it. Let's go back to school. Let's get some things behind your name and contribute to society.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we all need to just continue to strive for more, never be too satisfied with little or nothing. You know, you always have to keep going and going and going and going and wanting more every day. And I keep saying it, it's the soundtrack of this interview, but there's always a way. There's never not a way. And so everyone must believe, must strive for more, and hopefully many more great things happen for everyone, because we all have a role to play in society. Everyone have a role to play, and everyone should play a role. For all, we will each one help one, and we'll all rise above. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Joshua, thanks for coming on Canute Exploration, your topic in the podcast. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk.
No, no problem. A pleasure being here, and may all stay well with you. Stay healthy. God bless. Respect.
God bless. Bye bye. So that was Joshua Burgess. He has done well for himself, and he still continued to contribute to society despite the disability. He's an advocate for persons living with disability, and I applaud him for that. He's a great Jamaican. I said slash Trinidadian, West Indian. He put that in, and that's cool. He capped that, and I really appreciate him and what he has been doing for himself and the society. I expect to hear a lot more from Joshua Burgess, as it relates to advocacy for the disabled community, because I asked him about getting involved in politics. He said, don't rule that out. It might just happen. Maybe not in the near future, but don't rule it out. I don't want to rule it out, because I think that he has the ability to lobby for persons in the disabled community, and he's a very intelligent, very smart person. He has some solutions, and people need to hear about these solutions. Hence, he was on Canyouth Exploration, your topic in a podcast, and I want people to understand the magnitude of this young Jamaican, young Trinidadian, young West Indian, and able to connect with him and try to push his cause and the things that he wants to see happen. I appreciate that. Remember, we're still in a pandemic. Remember to continue the hygiene thing. It means wash your hands, but more than that, yeah, the hygiene thing I call it. The social distance, wear a mask, and the vaccine. A lot of people have a challenge with the vaccine. I know. I want to understand, but also understand the importance of the vaccine. I took my Pfizer 2 doses in April and May, and that's a long time. I always say, look how many people the COVID kills, right? We saw it back from 2020, 2019. We saw it. But how many people died from the vaccine? If so be it you can count them on your 10 fingers, I would want to say. Maybe I'm underestimated the thing, but yeah, I'm saying it's just a few. So hey, take the vaccine. It will mitigate the symptoms, and it will also be this sort of a cushion that you may die, if you get the vaccine. So sorry, if you get the COVID. So take your vaccine. This was Canute Exploration, your topic in the podcast. Goodbye.